Hello, Sci-Fi Valley Con family. This is Samurai Jill here with Ned Luke, probably best known as the voice and mocap behind Michael DeSanta in GTA 5.
That's me.
We're so glad to have you here as part of this little Rockstar reunion.
Oh man, it's great to be here. This has been awesome.
You've been doing these conventions for at least a decade now since the game came out. What's your favorite part about coming to these cons?
Well, you know, it's the pat answer that everybody gives. It's all about the fans, right? I mean, but in our case, I think it really is. It truly is about the fans. You know, it's a chance for us to get to mingle with them, interact with them, and for them to get to meet us. And you know, it's. I say all the time, and I get a little emotional when I talk about this, you know. But I say all the time that the fans are the game. They're the ones who make the game. It's not us. It's not Rockstar. It's not, you know, Capcom. It's not any of those guys. It's the fans. If you don't have the fans, you don't have a game. And that's just the bottom line. So that's what I love about it.
The way you've embraced this character in the game and the way you treat your fans, especially to the point that you stream the game. That we can go on YouTube and find, you know, Michael DeSanta himself playing the game, giving commentary on the game.
Not very well.
But still, like, that's a surreal experience for fans to see you enjoying it that much. Were you a gamer before voicing?
Oh yeah. I've been playing since. I mean, you know, I'm a boomer, so I've been out there since. You know, I think I was in high school when, you know, Pong came out. You know, right, with the joystick where you go like this. You know. And you know, college was all about Donkey Kong and asteroids and all that kind of stuff. But I got into console gaming when I was in LA a long time ago. Like PS2 was when I really got into it. I had PS1. You know, I got all of them. I got, like, my video game collection's like crazy. I've got, you know, my consoles. I got the original PlayStation. I got PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox X, Switch, Game Boy, you know, I mean, we got all of them, and you know, Nintendo DS. I mean,
I didn't expect you to be more of a gamer than I am. Oh my God, you are a true gamer.
Well, it's between me and my son. You know, my son's 22 now, and we kind of bonded as when he was, you know, a little dude on a game called SSX Tricky, which is an old snowboarding game from PS2.
Yes.
And I would be playing that thing, and I'd give him a controller, and he thought he was playing. And he'd be like, oh yeah, this is great, you know. And we're playing the game and stuff. And to this day, we still play that game.
Aww.
Although he beats me now. I used to have the high scores. So now I'm not even on the leaderboard anymore. It's all Bubba. So
you think he'd let you win once after all the times you let him?
No, not in our family. We were very competitive, man. Very competitive. It's like he used to get mad if he didn't win Uno.
So before playing Michael, you had a good amount of acting experience, but I feel like, you know, video game work adds another layer of difficulty with the performance capture and those crazy suits. Was that challenging for you?
It was embarrassing because of all the back fat, but as far as challenging goes, you know, the specifics of it was different. You know, like. You know, in the volume, that's what it's called, where you shoot, it's called a volume. And you've only got so much space where you can go and then it ends. So if I'm doing a long walk, like there's this one scene where I come up, hey, Davey, how you doing? You know, everybody loves that line. But it's a long walk all the way up the observatory in LA, right? Well, that's not what they call it there. But anyway, so I would have to walk like a certain distance and then freeze it, and they'd mark, and I'd go back, and I'd have all the way back the other end of the volume, and I got to start from here and continue to walk and everything. And we did that literally for about 2.5 hours.
Oh, geez.
To get up there, you know. So that was kind of, you know, that kind of thing's different. And the motion capture suit, you know, with the balls all over you and everything. You got balls in your face, and I'm not someone who likes balls in my face. So it's it's like, you know, you've got that going on, and so it was a little different, but really, at the end of the day, it's just acting. It's acting. So it was really no different. I'll tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of my you know, like guerrilla, you know, acting class days. You know, where you didn't have a set, you didn't have Dude, didn't you already have an interview?
Interview crashed by Sean Fontano himself.
Oh yeah, there's some room.
Hey, y'all see him dance? Look him up on the internet. This is what he do.
So let me get your opinion for this next question. What song would Michael DeSanta sing for karaoke?
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
What do you think?
Yeah, I might actually sing that for karaoke today. I don't know. You never know. What?
Is that your choice? That's what you
Rhinestone Cowboy would sing? Yeah. No. I'd probably lay down some Hot House Flowers or something like that.
Okay.
Nobody would even probably know. So.
So as you can see, I'm dressed as a Red Dead Redemption character.
Yep.
We have this little rock star reunion. So I want to know if Michael DeSanta and Franklin Clinton were up against Arthur Morgan and John Marston, who would win?
Oh, be no contest. Be no contest. I just pull a freaking what are those things called? A grenade launcher out of my underwear, and boom! That'd be it for not just John and Roger, but Sadie and Uncle and all the rest of them. Man, they'd all be bam! One shot, game over.
Sean said the same thing. We'll have to see what these two say. I don't know.
Yeah, well. You know, if they're being truthful, they'll say that we would destroy them. But
so
but it's only because of the advance of technology. You know,
of course. Now, of course, since I'm dressed as Sadie, I read that you did a role for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah,
but
I did.
They cut your voice, and I feel like we all missed out so much not hearing you as an outlaw. Can you give us an idea what that could have sounded like?
Oh yeah. Well, I did a cool character voice. I thought was a cool character voice, but I'm like a moonshiner in it. And so if you're coming in as either John or Arthur, you know, like we send you out on missions so we can make moonshine. You get some sarsaparilla or some sassafras or whatever. So I just did a little bit of a voice like this right here, and I gave myself a lisp. And I just was like, hey, you going out there and give me some of that sarsaparilla so I can make you some good moonshine here, you know, whatever. I guess they were afraid that it was going to become, where's Michael, right? So they took the voice out and they put in some dude who sounded like a freaking accountant.
You know, I don't know.
Can you go out and get us some sarsaparilla? And so whatever. But then I was in the credits and it became Where's Mikey anyway.
Right. So, well, I mean, that's what voice acting is. You sound different. That doesn't sound anything like Michael DeSanta.
No, they wouldn't recognize it, but I understand where they were coming from. I mean, you know, they want Red Dead to be Red Dead, GTA to be GTA, you know, whatever. And I begged them to put me in Red Dead because I've always wanted to do a Western because I used to train horses when I was a kid. I worked with horses from when I was 13 until I was about 26. And before I became an actor, which I did for like 25 years before I booked this role. But, you know, it was like, I just wanted to do a Western real bad, you know, and I called the director and he's like, yeah, well, let me check. And they brought me in, you know, and I did some pedestrian stuff and then that, and they took my voice out. But I did little secret things that I would knew who I was that they couldn't cut me out of, you know, and if I was doing certain things with my body or my thing, I knew it was me. Yeah, they kept the performance
capture, right?
Yeah,
so
like the way I sat and stuff like that. And it became a big mystery, and everybody, like on Twitter or Instagram, you know, where are you in there? Where are you? Because they saw my name in the credits, and I would just go, it's a mystery. And I always said it's a mystery, and it took about 8 months for somebody to finally find me, and he did a big old video on TikTok, or not TikTok, like what's the other thing called? It used to be X. Or no, it is X. It used to be Twitter. X, that one. I told you I'm a boomer.
So for my last question, I just want to know, what is one piece of advice you'd give to aspiring actors?
I'd probably give them the same advice that I gave Franklin. You want my advice? Give this shit up. No, seriously though. Look, it's a tough business. It's a really tough business. You're up and down, or sometimes you'll never even get up. You're just down. So the one thing that I would say is you got to have thick skin, and you've got to not listen to the critics.
Yes.
Right? Don't listen to the critics. Study your ass off. Get into a good scene study class, working with people that are in the business, that are working in the business, and learn the business of the business. because the business of the business will take you sometimes farther than your actual ability will. Like, for example, you'll see guys that have all the talent in the world, right? But they're a big douchebag. So they don't get work because nobody wants to work with them, right? And then you have people that don't have quite as much talent, you know, that my acting coach used to call them unlikely winners. And you're like going, how is this guy getting work? But you don't realize that it's like he's the greatest guy on the planet to work with. And people want to work with him, you know, and his acting develops as it goes along. But I would say scene study, persevere, don't take any shit from anybody, you know, and you got to love it. If there's anything in the world that you can do and enjoy doing and make a living doing, then do that. If your calling is to be an actor, then you better be ready to bust it. You know, then you want to be an actor if there's nothing else. And that's how I was. I've tried a lot of different things. I quit the business for a few years right before I booked GTA, which was kind of a cool parallel to the Michael character, because he had tried to leave the gangster business and got pulled back in. And I tried to leave the acting business. I was done with it, you know. And I told my wife, you know, we were in my hometown, and I told my wife, LA or New York, pick, because I'm an actor.
Yep.
You know, and that's what you got to have. If you have that calling, you know, then it's what you got to do. But boy, you better have thick skin. You better be able to handle rejection. I had a lot of practice handling rejection before I became an actor. I'd go to the bars and I'd hang out and I'd strike a pose, you know, lay that blue steel on them, hoping that vibe would triculate across the room there, and it never worked. So I'll reject. Hey, how about a dance? Dance? Come on, one fucking dance. You know.
Well, it
and
worked
that's
once
what you would
since I heard you on the phone with your wife. So
yes, that's true.
one
that's
time
true.
it worked.
Yeah. Well, I got lucky there. Trust me.
Ned, thank you so much for your time. Everyone,
You're
come
welcome.
meet Ned Luke at Sci-Fi Valley Con this weekend.
Come meet me at Sci-Fi Valley Con this weekend. Well, this weekend's almost over.
Well, tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, come tomorrow.